Hey everyone, we're going to go ahead and do our vlog for February 17th. Halfway through February, I cannot believe it. First we have Northanger Abbey. I did finish, which is super exciting. I finished it Wednesday night. So I have the positives and negatives here. Positives for Jane Austen, still amazing character development and character growth. Very satisfying to see the characters' differences between the beginning and the end of the book is always amazing for Jane Austen. I love in this book the plot twists. I love things happening that you did not expect, things happening that you did expect but you didn't know how. I really, really enjoyed it a lot. The love interest in this book was amazing. His name was Henry, and he was very, very great in this book. Hilarious and blunt, and I really, really enjoyed his character. And his sister's character, Eleanor, was very, very sweet as well. But that kind of brings me to the negatives. The pacing was not the best. The first half was rather slow and kind of boring, especially the first couple chapters. The second half, however, was really, really good pacing. So that's another positive, is the second half's pacing. The author did talk to the audience in this book, which I didn't enjoy. It's not like in Jane Austen where the author just kind of talks about things in society. It's different. She talks straight to the audience, which is kind of annoying. I didn't like that at all about this book. Also, some characters did not get resolutions at the end of this book, which really bothered me. So it is one of the shorter ones. It was only 260. But the main character's brother, the two kind of villains in the book, and the love interest brother all did not get any kind of ending to their stories, which Jane Austen normally wraps up everybody. So that's kind of interesting. And then also the sister kind of had an abrupt ending. She just suddenly got married and with no mention of any kind of love interest at all. So that really confused me about this book. Jane Austen is normally much smoother than that, and she normally puts in hints to those kinds of things earlier in her book. So I wonder, actually, I want to look this up, if this is one of her earlier works. Maybe it's because she's not as practiced. So I want to look that up and see if this is one of her early books. And then later she does Pride and Prejudice and Sense and Sensibility. That would kind of make sense, because this was not as well written as her other works. But however, I still gave it a 7.5 out of 10. Still really enjoyed it. Didn't ever want to put this book down. It just wasn't the best in the beginning, and some of those things kind of bugged me throughout it. Alright, next is Crown of Swords. I'm really working not to spoil things, but to have new things to say still with Crown of Thorns. I will say there are some themes of consent in this book that are incredibly difficult. And I love that it's consent for both male and female characters. And I really do appreciate that it's not just the women have to consent, it's the men who have to consent as well. But it's incredibly difficult to read, and I kind of had this spoiled for me, so I knew it was coming, a certain character not consenting. I knew it was coming, but it was still incredibly hard to read. So, but I did get through it. I think it was kind of nice that it was spoiled for me, so I actually had some warning because I'm a little sensitive about that. It's not so explicit that it crazy bothered me and I had to put it down. It was just made me uncomfortable. But it's supposed to make you uncomfortable. It's very obvious that Robert Jordan's saying this is a bad thing, not promoting it. So it is good. I think he follows the theme really, really well. And I'm really, really glad that the characters' reactions to it and afterward trauma is realistic. He's not just fine afterwards, which I really appreciated as someone who's been through a lot. You're not just fine afterwards. So that really, I really enjoyed that in this book. So that's what I'm reading right now. There's some other traumas. There's a couple getting back together after a really long time, so I'm really excited for it. So I am struggling to not just finish this book. I'm pretty far, you can see, pretty far. So it's probably 70-80% now. So it's getting to that avalanche where it's really hard to put down this book. I still have quite a bit to go. I mean, it's Robin Jordan. This book is not short, but I'm almost there. So that's really exciting. All right, so before I finish Northanger Abbey, I did start. I kind of warned you that I would. I started, I started Order of the Phoenix. So I do really like that I'm back in this world. I adore Harry Potter. It's so nice to get back. I'm kind of wearing Gryffindor colors today to celebrate. This book does start slow, but it is a lot more exciting than I remembered. Right back into all the wonderful psychology. Another really great example of trauma happening and the author acknowledging it and acknowledging that afterwards the character is going to be different. So there's a lot of differences between Harry in this book than last book. He's hurting, he's a teenager, he's angsty. Everyone complains about it. I really appreciate it though. It is realistic to trauma in your teen years. So I really like that he's not just okay. He shouldn't be okay. He just saw a murder. So I really appreciate that about J.K. Rowling, and I always have ever since I started reading her in high school, or in college rather. So I'm reading this book. I know that they don't get to Hogwarts anytime soon, which is kind of a bummer. I want to go back to Hogwarts. I want to be in that setting. But they are almost done at Privet Drive. So we'll see what happens. I mean, I already know what happens. But I really am enjoying it a lot more. I was just kind of like, oh, I don't remember liking this one as much. Oh, I don't want to start it. But now that I've started it, I remember I like every single one of these books. So I'm gonna keep going. I'll update you where I'm at. This one I'm gonna be a little less cautious about spoilers because I think most people on BookTube or Book Instagram have definitely read the Harry Potter series. So I think I can talk a little bit more in depth than in Wheel of Time, where I want to be really careful of spoilers. All right, so that is Order of the Phoenix. I'll continue with that one. Very excited about that. And finally, we got our Dragonflight. Thank goodness the section ended well. It did not end boringly. The beginning of this section was boring. The end was not. Thank goodness. There was some great stuff. We had my favorite character, Flar, finally getting his leadership position that he deserves so much. He's such a great leader. He's so competent, unlike his successor, or the previous guy. It's incredibly not competent. This Flar is amazingly competent. Had my discussion with my mom, which was great. We had it in the halftime of the Super Bowl. Instead of watching Rihanna, we talked about books. So sorry, I enjoy that a little bit better. So we talked about this, and we really enjoyed this section. We much rather the ending than the beginning. The beginning was a little sad, but now that the ending of this fourth was so good, I am very excited to continue with this. We're gonna try to finish it this weekend, so that we don't get behind in schedule, but there's a possibility we might have to move this book back a week, which is a little sad. But still going to try to finish this by the end of February. All right, so that is all I have today. I'm considering starting Pride and Prejudice. I haven't decided yet. So we'll see. I'm thinking 5 books might be a little hard for me to juggle at the moment with my job. But I'm really enjoying these 4, so, well, I guess it would be just 4 because I finished Northanger Abbey, so I guess it would be 4 that I would be juggling. So I guess that's not too bad. So I might start Pride and Prejudice, I might not. I don't have to finish it until the end of March, so I'm not in a huge hurry to start Pride and Prejudice. I just like it so much that I want to read it. But I guess I should probably focus more on reading Order of the Phoenix and getting that done, because it's the longer one, so I should probably devote more time to it, and finishing A Crown of Swords. I have till the end of March to finish Crown of Swords, but it would be really cool if I finished it early, so I could get a head start on my 4 books that I want to finish this year for Robert Jordan. So yeah, that is my week. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much. If you watch these vlogs, I really appreciate it. I am doing them kind of for myself as a journal, but also for you all. So I really have enjoyed it a lot, enjoying my bookstagramming and my booktubing. So we'll see what happens by the end of the year. We'll see how many of y'all are watching. That's really exciting to think about. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you next week.